time for Global Business Update. Somebody's back in the studio, Rotus Oddiri, after all your travels. Welcome back.
Wait, Vimba, you were part of the travels. Good to see you. Ayo, good morning. Rufai, good morning.
You're a great travel buddy, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Great travel buddy, but I will not be driving with you. I will not be in a car that you're driving again. All that hip-hop.
It was
he plays
fun.
hip-hop, then
fun.
he drives...
Loud music to keep the body going.
What a great place to play hip-hop and drive than in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. They are becoming more liberated, you see? Exactly.
In Riyadh.
Indeed. All right, so a lot happening this week as far as what to watch. Earnings are going to be dominating the story in Asia, in the United States, Q3 earnings and so on. We begin with Paramount Skydance. This, I think, is the first of the Plus streaming service. They're going to be reporting their earnings since that merger. Also, CoreWeave, it's in the AI space, a tech company that's up about 160%. That's later today. We're going to get those numbers today. For tomorrow, MOFI, Ministry of Finance Incorporated in Nigeria, is going to be putting its real estate fund on the exchange, the Nigerian exchange. It's going to be listing. So there's going to be a lot of talk about mortgages as we move forward. So they want to raise capital in order to provide liquidity to Nigeria's mortgage space so that you can live the Nigerian dream, get married, buy a house and so on. SoftBank also releasing earnings tomorrow. The Vision Fund, of course, investing a lot in artificial intelligence and the like. So see what happens. Wednesday, OPEC will be releasing its monthly oil reports for November. You have seen how oil has been seesawing with, extra production coming from the likes of Canada, Brazil, Donald Trump wanting to produce, more oil in the United States. So oil, of course, has been, it's been pretty volatile and pretty low. So we'll get that on Wednesday. We also get earnings from Foxconn, which is one of the major partners of Apple. Foxconn, of course, also partnering with NVIDIA. They're going to be building out, data centers and so on. Electronics maker, we get that. Thursday, Disney will be releasing its earnings, JD.com as well. In the e-commerce space, Disney, of course, in the entertainment space. This Friday here now, this is China's Singles Day. Notice it says 11/11, which really should be Tuesday. This was, of course, I think it was Alibaba that started Singles Day for China in 2009. It was supposed to be targeted at single college students in order to get them to spend more money. It's now taking on a life of its own. So we put it on Friday because the campaign for Singles Day actually ends on Friday. It has now turned into this big thing to where they're trying to get more people in China to spend more money. It's gone beyond single people now. It's just anybody just get deals like, Black Friday and all this Thanksgiving stuff is going to be coming up. And then also Nigeria inflation figures. We expect, we get those on the 15th, but the 15th falls on a Saturday. So we're expecting that from the Bureau of Statistics on Friday. As you see, Nigeria's inflation has been decelerating. I think, what was the last print? 18% or so year on year. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of inflation, CPI coming in for before that, Donald Trump, the big story, of course, is we had some Senate Democrats that broke ranks with leadership to advance a procedural vote in order to try to get the shutdown to end. So Trump, I think their Air Force One just last night gave a short update on that he's optimistic that is going to be resolved soon. Let's take a listen.
Getting very close to the shutdown. We'll never agree to give any substantial money or any money to really prisoners, illegals that come into our country. And I think the Democrats understand that. And it looks like we're getting close to the shutdown ending. You'll know very soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so, we'll see how that, goes forward. But we've already seen people like Chuck Schumer and a number of others, saying that this is not a good day, that they should have held firm. But, look, we're at 40 days now, longest shutdown. Airline flights are being canceled. Thanksgiving is coming up. So I think a number of those Democrats don't want to go and face their constituents and have to make their lives hard, although Republicans are facing that pressure as well. So on the back of that, we've seen stocks climbing. Futures in America are pointing pointing upwards. Asian markets are up. I think the biggest jump was in Korea with the Kospi. But across the board, we had some IPOs. There's this interesting company called, I think it's Lenscrafter. So there's a new, an eyewear maker in India that did its IPO today. So, there's a number of reasons. We had some big, pullbacks last week with the fear of an AI bubble, but we seem to be having a rebound this morning. So Asian markets are on the up and up. And also part of that story is inflation in China. So this, of course, has been a deflation story. Prices have been falling, but we see CPI coming in at 0. This is year on year. Consumer price index coming at 0.2% year on year. This is for other places. This could be a month on month number. It was down by 0.3%. They're saying it's because of the holiday period and holiday spending that's kind of pulled prices up. PPI though still at a 3-year low, falling by 2.1%. This is of course the producer side of the equation. What it costs for producers to put for to produce what they sell, and then core CPI when you strip out volatile energy and food at 1.2. But if economists are saying this is temporary and that we're still seeing deflationary pressure in China. Meanwhile, President Trump, in order to read this entire thing, he says, people that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world. I'll jump onto this. He basically, at the end there, he says he's going to pay a $2,000 dividend from the tariffs. Essentially, he says America is bringing in so much money, although the official numbers are about 90 billion, just under 100 billion so far. And he's saying they're bringing in trade, that he's going to pay down the debt. And this, in fact, he shouldn't be tweeting this because this goes against the Supreme Court's, But anyway, he says they're going to pay a $2,000 dividend to every American minus the top, I think 1%, the wealthiest. We did the numbers. It comes out to about almost $700 billion. That's almost the defense budget. I don't know where he expects the money to come from. Anyway, Scott Bessent was asked about this. And, of course, he walked it back. He said, well, anyway, listen to Bessent. Listen to Scott Bessent.
Ryan Bessent.
The $2,000 dividend could come in lots of forms, in lots of ways, George. It could be just the tax decreases that we are seeing on the president's agenda. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility of auto loans. So, those are substantial deductions that, are being financed in the tax.
Yes, Rufai loves the story. We're always talking between the breaks. But anyway, Bessent is essentially saying that, no, we're not going to give a $2,000 dividend. It might come through tax cuts. It's just a roundabout way of saying this is impossible. Also, there's mortgages. I mentioned Mofi. We'll get to Nigeria in a moment. But Trump posted this on his Truth Social. This is President Roosevelt. He has 30-year mortgage here. You're on the whole New Deal, and they're trying to get Americans into a home. And he posts this with Trump's, his own picture saying 50-year mortgage. There's a housing shortage in America. There are not enough homes. Also, I think mortgage rates are about 6-7% or so. They're pretty high. So you've got a limited supply of homes, high demand, housing prices. So he is floating the idea of a 50-year mortgage to allow Americans pay lower mortgage prices over the course of that period of time. Even Bill Pulte, who is the head of the Federal Housing Agency, also putting a tweet out saying, thanks to President Trump, we are indeed working on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game changer. There's been a lot of backlash against this because what it means is that if you are extending a loan over a 50-year period compared to 30, you end up paying almost double what it is that the loan costs, right? That is the actual home you're trying to get. In fact, we have a clip from this gentleman, is the CEO of Investozoria. I think Bill Fishman is his name. Very animated, saying that this thing is not going to work. Take a listen to his pushback on the 50-year mortgage.
We are Americans. We are not slaves. We are not slaves to the plantation owner. We are not slaves to China. And we are not slaves to Wall Street. This 50-year mortgage idea is a spit in the face. It is an insult. We did not vote for this. We did not vote to become debt slaves to private equity firms and the big banks in Wall Street. Right now, the median home in America costs $500,000. At the prevailing mortgage rate of 6%, you would have $580,000 of interest payments over 30 years. If we went with this ridiculous, inane idea of a 50-year mortgage, that would be $1.1 million of mortgage payments for a $500,000 home. So you would end up paying $1.5 million for a $500,000 home. My grandfather, who was a World War II vet, he passed in 2018, he always told me that we don't want to pass down this national debt to the next generation, to our kids and our grandkids, to become slaves to China. I'm not worried about China anymore. I'm worried about becoming slaves to Wall Street. And the know-nothing Republicans and the do-nothing Democrats seem to be working together once again to push this usury on Americans. It is an absolute insult.
All right. So, look, this is just a chart showing 30-year, 50-year, and the amount of time it will take to pay it off. And, you know, this is just a chart that just illustrates what Mr. Fishman was saying. Anyway, as I was talking, mortgages, right? So, MOFI, the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, is going to be listing its real estate fund, since we're talking mortgages, because our mortgage industry is illiquid in Nigeria. So, they are trying on the government side to raise capital. This is going to be, they're going to be doing this tomorrow, so we'll have the province ceremony, we'll have some more details on that. But they want to try and get mortgages in Nigeria. I think there's a 20-year at 9.7%. They want to try and extend that.
Open it up to non-Nigerian passport holders who are permanent residents, because for now you need a Nigerian passport to do it.
So they want to focus on Nigerians.
No, but we are permanent residents, so we are
Let's
we are permanent residents.
Okay. Her
And
constituency.
Nigerian wives.
Let me wrap up. Wait.
I love you, but let's sort out.
Finally, I'm sure you saw this on Friday. This is our Minister of Tourism, Hannatu Musar. She said the Federal Executive Council in Nigeria received a proposal. So before everybody jumps up and down, this is a proposal that they received to set up a presidential task force for Detty December. So take a listen to her.
For Detty December, we have asked the President to establish a presidential task force on Detty December that will allow all the different interdependencies that we need, the different MDAs, aviation, interior, power, that we need to ensure that we provide the international community with the destination for Detty December, and of course, provide the support that Lagos State needs from the federal government, so that we can really maximize on the potential of Detty December and other festivals around the country, and also to build it as a global brand.
All right, you guys have a lot to say. Go ahead. Take it away.
I'm going to have to hold you on that one because we are out of time. Thank you so much, Rotus.